Hello and welcome back to chapter 7, lecture number 45. So we continue to work on the scene. We just imported the cross and added a weight layer, so to define where the cross is visible. And what I'd like to do in this lecture is continue to work tweaking the cross and slowly adding the other nature assets. So we're going to import these and put them in the right collection. Alright, so we have the grass, but it needed some tweakings. So we now have 200,000 and I'd like to increase this to 300,000. Keep in mind that this scene is a 360 scene. So on which angle you are, it doesn't really matter. You should be able to make a nice looking render. But that has a catch because you can't save grass areas, like you smooth it out on a distance. So that's a sort of a thing that doesn't really work like that in the scene. But as long you keep this sample amount, this where is it? The viewport display on 1%, you won't really feel this in your viewport, only on the rendering. It will take more time. Okay, so let's go back to these settings. Let's increase the length to 7. It says meters, but our values are a little bit out of scale. Doesn't really matter. It's no big. If it doesn't look good, you put it back, but don't care on this. So another thing what I'd like to do is adding a texture. Will be just a very random one. I'm calling this grass_var. And what I'd like to do is go to the texture and think about, you have to go to the particle system and not tweaking your displacement image. It's not going to switch automatically. You need to define it. And we want to have a Verani, and let's go for the value of 0.05. So these are all standard values. And when we start making the final renders, we're going to adjust these till it fits our expectations. But we need to start somewhere. So I'm not going to find out what's the best value, because when we're going to add the other assets, it maybe need to change a lot. So you click on hair length and go for a value of 0.9. This can be 0.8 or 0.7, but start with 0.9. Alright, and also the coloring, a bit more brightness and contrast, so the black and white areas are more visible, and we have bigger spots. Otherwise, these are more smoothed. 1.2 and a value of 0.9 for the contrast. Alright, so we have a sort of tweak on the small grass. Before we're going to make any other render, I like to import more nature assets and put them in the right collection. I don't like it to do it all in once because it can be a little bit meshy. So let's just turn off the viewport rendering for the grass. Speed is very important, so I like to have it that way. So we can see our grass right there. Just move this a little bit more to the right. So we're going to put these on this area. So go to File, Append, and I want to go to Chapter 6 and to our Nature Assets folder. And that's the one. And we need collection. Alright, so Calendine, we want to have a dead leaves. And so you can just select the plants in ones, but don't go for trees. Nettle, and the ivy, and the reed small, the reed large, and this is just a full group. Maybe, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to append. So take some time, then we can drag these. It's selecting all. Yeah, just putting these on the bottom. I'm going to hide these, or just delete them because we don't need them anymore. Delete it. And what is the best way of selecting? Just like this, and putting these right there. Okay, because the grass is bound boxes, but for these nature assets you don't need bound boxes. We can scale these a little bit more. Control A, rotation and scale to have them right. You can scale it even more. Control A, rotation and scale. And this ivy leaf should be smaller. Control A, rotation and scale. Alright, so we have nature assets, but how does it look like in our scene? Where are they? Sort of, we have these, but where are they stored? There you go. So these are now in the grass set 01, and you want to have them in the nature. And dead leaves in nature. You want to have the ivy, the nettle, and read large and read small. So this is very important to organize this. Look at that. So let's scale these a little bit so we have a bigger outliner. And what is useful right now is going to append the twigs. Append. Where are you? I want to see twig birch B and A and twig. That's fields. It's the field maple and B as well. I'm going to append these. And they should be on the bottom. Yeah, there you go. Right there. When you append the trees, it will not come with the twig, so I prefer to just append. Hey, it's just appended the field maple. Oh, there are the other ones. It's just very small. And when we want to adjust the material, you want to have sort of a reference. Alright, so the final thing we need to do, let's just put these in the right. Where are my twigs? So I want to have a separated nature new and call this twigs. And the cross set 1, just minimize it. Oh wow. Twig field maple. Just scroll down. You want to have this in the twigs for this one as well. And there you go. And these and let's drag these into the twigs. Alright, and now we can just deselect it. And the trees, of course, so go to File, Append, and it's loading. So we want our not just trees, we want to have the this is kind of frustrating. It doesn't really. Oh yeah, birch tree 1, 2, and 3, and field maple. And append. So these will just link the twigs. So we have to replace it to have control on it if we want it. So if the trees are too small, you want to scale it. We have to replace it. So let's drag these to this area. And by default, yeah, there's no twigs applied. And let me think. I want to put these in a separated tree collection. New, so it's easy to find. So it's called Nature 13 and trees. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there you go. Organizing. So sometimes I have to think. So I'm sorry if I'm not going too quick for you. You think, come on, what are you doing? I have to think as well. Very important. Even if I've created this scene twice, it's important to think. Alright, so we'll end this lecture and see you in the next one, where we'll continue to import the new particle systems with plants and leaves, things like that. All right, thanks for watching and see you in the next lecture. Bye bye.